Hey guys, welcome to a brand new thrifting haul video. Thank you for tuning in. I guess I took last week off again. I don't know. I just didn't really watch a lot of movies recently, so I just didn't do a review video. And I honestly, I really wanted to do a thrifting haul video, but the movie thrifting has been pretty lax as of late. So what I've decided to do on this video is include recent music pickups, as well as some things I got for Christmas that I forgot to show you that are movie related, as well as a really cool toy that I got from a very close friend for a Christmas gift recently. So I'm going to kind of show off a bunch of stuff. I've also been watching a new, well, not a new to me channel on YouTube. I think the person's name is Jason Diamond, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Dymond. And this person thrifts a lot of yard sales and flea markets and things like that. And I've been just binging his videos, and they're so cool. He collects a lot of 70s and 80s memorabilia, a lot of Kiss stuff. I'm not a huge, massive Kiss fan, but his videos are really cool, and some of the stuff he finds at these flea markets. Like here in Canada, especially where I live, there's hardly any flea markets, and when they have them, they're not that great, or they're really overpriced because they're like the hipster kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to go on a rant. But anyway, so I think what I'll do is I'll save the movies for the end, because I think a lot of you watch my videos to see the movies that I get. Excuse the shaking. So I'll save the movies for the end, just so maybe you'll stick around till the end. I don't know. I can't set those there. Anyway, the first thing I got was, I don't know about you, but I'm a cheapskate when it comes to calendars, and I always wait till January to buy my new 2025 or 2020 whatever calendar. So my 2025 calendar I got for 50% off. I've been eyeing this for about a month and a half. It's this really nice vintage styled Star Wars calendar. I'll show you the back. It's all pictures from the old movies, and it's got that kind of like, I guess it kind of reminds me a bit of like the packaging on action figures from back in the 70s and early 80s. So I've been eyeing this for like a month and a half, and there was only 2 copies at this local calendar store that goes up every Christmas. So I was really hoping that there would be 1 copy at least left in the new year, and lo and behold, there was. So I got this for, I think it was 40 or 50% off. It's really nice. It's got really nice photos in it from, like I said, the original movies. So I decided to grab this. Let's see. There's a nice one of Boba Fett for March. And the cool thing is it says, I think it does, yeah, it says on the front here, there's a bonus poster. So now I thought it was going to be a pretty nice sized fold out poster, but what it was is just this, which is just like a mini poster, which is still pretty cool. This is the Millennium Falcon coming out of Death Star number 2, I believe, with Lando at the controls. But the cool thing is they mixed up and they sent me 2, so no, I've got 2 of them. Let's see, I'm gonna move. Oh yeah, so I did get a calendar for Christmas from a sis, and so shout out to her for this. I forgot to show this in my Christmas haul, but I did get a horror movie calendar, which is pretty cool. It's got all the spooky characters in it. There's Pennywise, and there's Annabelle, and there's Freddy. There's all the baddies in there, so I'll probably put 1 up in one room and 1 in the other room, or something like that. Moving on to the music for vinyl. This one I actually got a couple weeks ago, and I also forgot. I don't really show music in my videos, but I tend to buy quite a bit of used music. So I thought maybe for the new year I would include these in my thrifting hauls. You guys are just going to have to wait for the movies at the very end. I found this record. This is In Search of Ancient Gods, Eric von Daniken. Now, some of you may recognize that name. He is the fellow who is on Ancient Aliens. He's the older guy. He wrote Chariots of the Gods. This is an experience in sound and music based on the books of Eric von Daniken, featuring Bill Bruford. So there you go. Yeah, so I got this for $19.99. A bit pricey, but I feel like this might be not one you're going to see around a lot. There's nothing on the inside to show you, but I did get this at one of my local used record stores, and kind of a cool treat. I haven't actually listened to it yet. The next one up I got, I'm probably not going to keep. If anybody out there is really into like 80s Canadian hair metal, early 80s Canadian hair metal, I picked this up just based on the cover. It's called Moose Molten Metal. It's a compilation. I thought this was going to be like a lot of like maybe like proto speed metal type stuff, or like even just faster heavy metal, but it's mostly hair metal. The reason I grabbed it is because I saw this band down here, Witch Killer, and I thought, you know, there's a band on here called Fist, which I definitely remember hearing about them. There's a band called Stormbringer. So I thought this was going to be more like real like heavy metal, but it's kind of more like hair metal and stuff like that. So I'm probably not going to keep that one in my collection. And the last vinyl I got was Chris Squire, Fish Out of Water. Chris Squire, of course, a prog rock god. This record I didn't know anything about. How'd that go? Oh, I saw this at the record store. I know Chris Squire's name, but I did not know if it was good or not. This is from 1975. So what I did was I went home, I listened to it on YouTube or Spotify. I really liked it, brought it home, put on the vinyl, really, really liked it. So yeah, it's proggy, kind of got a bit of a, maybe a bit of fusion-y feel to it. Quite spacey, quite dense, like quite deep. There's a lot going on this record, so I'm really excited to kind of do a deeper dive on this, to see what else is happening in between the notes and things like that. But just trying to see if there's anything else I can show you in here. I think this might be a gatefold, so I might be able to show you something else. Oh yeah, it's just a really big gatefold with Chris there with his, looks like an acoustic guitar, though I think he's known for bass. But yeah, I put this record on at home and I was instantly like zapped right into it. I thought it was really, really good. If you're into prog rock, especially 70s stuff, you'll probably really dig that. Bass playing is, you know, boom. The next things I got up are CDs. And like, I guess I didn't mention yet, but I went to my local Value Village about 2 or 3 days ago, and either somebody died or somebody just dumped their whole music collection. Whichever, I ended up scoring a bunch of really cool CDs. I met a really cool person there at the thrift store who was buying a lot of the vinyl, which I kind of don't blame them. The first vinyl record I saw was a record by the Los Angeles punk band X, who are one of my favorite bands of all time, which I would have grabbed, but it had a real nasty scratch right down the whole thing. So I decided to pass on that. But this person found like Allman Brothers CD box sets for like $4, and like, trying to remember what else. There was just a bunch of really good stuff. Whoever this person was, they were into a lot of like, I wouldn't say prog rock, but like kind of maybe on the other side of that, leaning closer to pop. There was a lot of like Night Ranger and Queensryche and things like that. So anyway, the CD collection that they left was really impressive too. So the first one I got up was Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, which is not a Pink Floyd CD that I have in my collection yet. Just to give you some context, I really only started listening to prog rock about 10 years ago. I always liked Rush. I always liked Pink Floyd for that matter, but I never really had the money to buy a lot of stuff. So now that I have some disposable income, I decided to start collecting some of these and really listening to them. This Wish You Were Here. And then I got another Pink Floyd, which is Animals, which is another one I did not have in my collection. So added those to my collection, pretty happy, pretty excited to listen to those. Pink Floyd's a band that I'm kind of up and down with. I really like I want to say like 70 to 75 era. I really liked, as you know, I really liked Live at Pompeii. I really liked Amagama. I do like Dark Side of the Moon and into the later stuff, but my preference is that kind of sweet spot between, not the Sid Barrett, but not the Dark Side of the Moon, like in between those things. So I don't know if those CDs will scratch that itch, but anyway, grab those. The next one up I got was Led Zeppelin BBC Sessions. This is a 2-disc set. I paid $2.99 for this. It's in minty condition. Also, this person that ditched their collection took very good care of their CDs and albums, so I always appreciate somebody who takes care of their stuff. No fingerprints, no very, very few little minor surface scratches, but I like Led Zeppelin, again, mostly like from the first album to like, I guess, Led Zeppelin 3. But I do like the early stuff, and I'm hoping, I looked through this, a lot of this is 68, 69, 70, 71, somewhere like 68 to 71 era, so I'm hoping this is going to sound really good, and I just really like that early stuff. The next one up I got is ZZ Top Live from Texas. I actually have the DVD of this concert. I got to see ZZ Top back in I think it was 2018 or 2019, before the bass player passed away, and I got to see them live. I've always only really been a big fan of Eliminator, but I have come to like some of their earlier stuff. But this concert's excellent if you ever get a chance. I think this might be on YouTube, actually. If you ever get a chance, wicked playing on this. And yeah, happy to have this. This will sound nice on my car stereo or in my headphones. But if you get a chance to see this concert, again, I think it's on YouTube, or there's at least songs from this on YouTube. You can go check it out if you like ZZ Top. I know a lot of people kind of turn their nose up. They're like, you like ZZ Top? Yeah, I mean, Billy Gibbons, come on. The whole band's good, but the guitar playing, and especially on that one, like, if you watch his guitar playing, it's like really fluid. If you're, I'm not a super guitar nerd, but it's very fluid playing and a lot of improvisation, which is what I liked seeing them at concert. They didn't play the songs note for note. They actually like a real blues band. They improvised and went off a little bit here and there, and I really appreciated that as a musician and as somebody who likes. If you really like a song, I love hearing like different versions of that song. So, like for instance, Jesus and Mary Chain were one of my favorite bands in the 80s. And when I hear like live recordings of them from back then, they play the song maybe just a slight bit slower or a slight bit noisier. I just love that stuff. It's like going back in time. Yeah, the next one I got, I know, it's Yes, 90125. Yeah, this is the one with Owner of a Lonely Heart on it. I've just been collecting Yes, again, for about 10 years now. I know this is like the early 80s. It's not that good. Compared to the 70s stuff, it's not as much my kind of jam, but if I can find them for a couple of bucks, I do grab them. Every once in a while I get surprised. Speaking of surprise, because this is one I grabbed too, this is King Crimson. The album is called Beat. And well, actually, I bought this blind. I didn't know anything about it. I bought it blindly. I put the first song on Spotify just to check it out, and I was like, oh God, this is really bad. But then a few tracks in, it started to get more experimental and more proggy. And I found myself sucked in quite a bit. Robert Fripp going on here. And I'll give it a chance. I'm not sure if it's going to be a keeper or not, but like I said, I've kind of gotten most of the... King Crimson's not a band I'm super into, or yet anyway. But like Genesis or Yes or Emerson, Lake and Palmer, I've been going back and grabbing just random things, CDs and albums if I can find them cheap, and just exploring. Some of it I really like, some of it I don't, but that's kind of the excitement. It's almost like going back in time, really, because when I was a kid, you just had to buy records. There was no internet, so you just bought records and hoped they were good. So it's kind of that vibe. This one I bought because I don't have it. It's Rush, All the World's a Stage. I have the vinyl of this, but I don't have the CD, and I do love listening to my CDs in the car. not a huge vinyl listener. Probably more in the last year I got back into it, but I didn't have that Rush CD yet. And I don't listen to the vinyl a lot, but I do tend to listen to a lot of that stuff in the car when I'm driving. So I picked it up cheap, throw it on. The next one up I got is the Psychedelic Furs Greatest Hits. This is one I had a discussion with that person at the Value Village. I like the mid-'80s Psychedelic Furs. I don't really know much of their other stuff, so this, I'm hoping, will be a chance for me to kind of sample a bunch of their albums and see if I like some of their other stuff. But as soon as I popped this in the car stereo, I went right to track 8, which is Heaven, followed by Heartbeat, followed by The Ghost in You, followed by Heartbreak Beat, which are all like my favorite songs. Pretty in Pink is on here, of course. They're a cool band. I really like Psychedelic Furs, kind of like Simple Minds, or I'm trying to think of other bands from that era that maybe like Japan, or what's that one? I forget. There's a lot of these bands that I knew their hit songs, but I don't really know a lot of their other stuff, so I'm kind of trying to explore some of that as well. And the last CD I got before I go to the movies, I promised there would be movies. The last CD I got was The Cult, Dreamtime. This is from '84. This is on the Vertigo label. I love me some Cult, especially the early stuff, which was a bit, I don't want to say goth, because that word's almost become like a bad word, but how would you describe it? A bit more primitive sounding, a bit more, the drums, it's tom heavy, a lot of dissonant guitar. The lyrics were a bit more esoteric, a bit more, grounded in like spirituality and things like that. They sort of maintained a lot of that, but they definitely got more rock as they went on. But the early stuff, hard to explain, kind of like early U2. Like if you go back and listen to like U2's War or Boy, October, it had more of like a rhythmic kind of post-punk almost feel, and this one really scratches that itch. I listened to this in the car the other day and I was really in heaven. There's some pictures of them from the early days. So you can see they were a bit, I don't want to say goth, but they were more that early new wave kind of thing. Really good, so I'm excited to re-listen to that one. On to the movies, and guys, I didn't get anything really good in the movie department, but I'll show them anyway. I got Jurassic World Dominion. I think this is the last one that came out. This one didn't get great reviews. I have watched it once on streaming. I didn't mind it. It's like, I know you guys are probably sick of me saying it, but like if you like Lord of the Rings and you want more Middle Earth, you watch The Hobbit. Not as good, but still, if you want to scratch that itch again, I didn't mind this. I thought it was just an average sort of sci-fi thriller. The next one up I got was, yeah, I know, you guys are going to really laugh. I was reading a Daredevil comic book and I was like, do I remember the Daredevil movie being good? No. But do I really kind of want to watch it again? Yeah. So I found this pretty nice copy. It's got the slip sleeve on it. It's not great, but I do really like the character of Daredevil, so I was willing to kind of give this a rewatch. The inside is the same. This is Ben Affleck. This is the director's cut. I just wanted to see Daredevil in action. I watched some of the series on Netflix, and I thought it was all right. I don't remember hating on this movie as much as a lot of people did, but I'm going to give it a rewatch. Couldn't find it on streaming, so that's why I bought it. Again, kids, keep your physical media copies, because a lot of times you can't find these dang movies on streaming. The next one up I got was one that I don't see around a lot. This is Wolfen. I think this is from '81, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see a year on it, but yeah, '81. This is from Warner Brothers. I borrowed this from the library a couple of years ago and watched it. It was kind of a cool werewolf movie. Nowhere's near like American Werewolf in London or The Howling or even Dog Soldiers. But if you like werewolf movies, this one's not bad. I think this is the one that had that point of view from the werewolf's perspective or something. But, oh God. Oops. I guess the spindlies are broken. Doesn't that suck? Especially when it's on one of these snapper cases. But yeah, this is like if you like late 70s, early 80s kind of horror. It's not, you could do worse. Speaking of doing worse, again, I forget the name of that documentary, but I recently watched a documentary about the art of Dungeons and Dragons, and you can probably guess where I'm going with this. Every once in a while, I get into and I like to draw fantasy sci-fi pictures, and once in a while, I get into a D&D kind of mood, and I found this for $1, so I grabbed it. I've never seen this version of Dungeons and Dragons. I know a lot of people say this is really bad, but I grabbed it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm sure it's not great, but I did grab it for $1. What the hell? I was kind of ticked off though, because at that same store I saw the DVD for like $5 the following week, and I kind of wished I had held out for the DVD. But anyway, I'll pop this on some rainy Sunday afternoon and check it out. But I know. I actually have not even seen the new Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I'd kind of be curious to check that one out as well. I like fantasy. I'm not going into these movies expecting them to be Casablanca or The Godfather. These are like disposable to me kind of movies, action movies, fantasy, sci-fi. So I don't know. Like I watched Lost in Space a couple weeks ago, the 90s one. Is it great? No. But is it fun? And I just turned my brain off? Yes. And speaking of the last movie I got, speaking of turning your brain off, I got Star Wars Droids. This says it's a full-length animated feature on the back here. This came out at a weird time for me because I was probably about 15 or 16 years old. I was definitely more into punk rock and hanging out with my friends than watching cartoons. So I really missed this whole era of Star Wars Droids, Star Wars Ewoks, all that stuff. Probably a lot of people are saying you didn't miss much, but I'm going to check it out. I also grab these things when I see them because you just don't see these around a lot anymore, and I just couldn't resist. This is The Pirates and the Prince. So you guys can let me know. But yeah, if I see a weird, like an anomaly VHS, I usually just grab them. I think like the Batman one I found a couple weeks ago. Why not? Why not? And then the last thing I've got in this thrifting haul video was a gift from my good friend Christina. And I want to say horns up to Christina for sending me this. This is really, really sweet. And this was a thing that was from Christina's childhood, or it was part of her childhood. And I have been eyeing this thing for probably close to 10 years. And I told her if you ever decide to sell it, that I would be interested in this. And for Christmas, she sent me this in a very well wrapped tender care Christmas package. And I'm so honored to have this in my collection. And a shout out to Christina for sending this to me. And I will take very good care of this until the day that I cannot take care of it. And that is this really sweet, I don't know what year this is from. You guys can tell me if you're a toy collector. I'm going to guess probably 50s, 60s. I'm guessing maybe mid 50s to mid 60s, somewhere in there, maybe. I don't totally know. I noticed there's a label on the back that says, it looks like KD or KO. Actually, I have my my sleuth detective tool here, so I'll see if I can see. It looks, yeah, I can't see much better, but it's made in Japan. It looks like KD or KO. This thing does have a spiral turning thing on the back with a dial, so when you turn this dial, here's some ASMR for you. Some 50s, 60s robot ASMR. But yeah, this thing's so sweet. I was so touched that my friend sent this to me. So again, thank you, Christina. This was amazing. I did actually, you may have noticed in the background, I made a little toy shelf with not all, but some of my collectibles. You can see my Borgs back there, my Books of the Dead. This teddy bear is actually a wind-up guitar-playing teddy bear from Czechoslovakia from the 70s that my stepdad bestowed upon me upon his return from Czechoslovakia. Rest in peace. That's been with me since I was about 5 years old. I got these Hello Kitty action figures just recently. I got my Lord of the Rings Kinder Egg toys. I've got some little Star Wars ships. I've got my Wally, my big Wally's back there, and then my small Wally Pez dispensers. So I made this little toy section. Oh, and here, this little guy right here, right above R2, is a little wind-up Godzilla, walking Godzilla from probably the 60s that my friend Christina also gave me years ago. So yeah, so this was a really cool thing to get for Christmas, and yeah, I will cherish this for a long time. But if any of you out there know much about these, let me know. I'm obviously not going to be selling this or anything, but do the lights... I bet the eyes lit up at one point. It almost looks like that, but yeah, really sweet. Anyway, so that was kind of a different thrifting haul. We had some vinyl records, calendars, compact discs, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and toys. So I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know what I'm doing for 2025 yet. If you guys have any recommendations, I do have a video coming up, which is going to be a purge video. I know a lot of people like those ones. So I'm going to be getting rid of a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays that I don't need anymore. So that'll be coming up, and probably some more review videos, though I have to be honest, I'm getting kind of burnt out on those. But I don't know. I like doing these thrifting haul videos, but obviously I can't thrift all the time because I only have so much space and I only have so much money. So, and I'm definitely trying to be more frugal in the new year with stuff like this because my movie collection is way out of control and there's so much that I haven't watched yet. So I'm going to do a purge, and then I'm probably going to do another purge after that because I've just got so much stuff that I bought on a impulse, or I bought a second copy by accident, or things like that. So anyway, I hope everybody's having a good new year so far. Things are good here, and the weather's been pretty good. We've had some really nice sunny days. The snow is coming down today. I'm hoping if it doesn't, it seemed like it was turning to freezing drizzle, but if it stays okay, I'm going to see Nosferatu this afternoon. So I'm very, very excited about that. I watched the Red Letter Media review of Nosferatu, and they gave it like a huge praise. And I trust those guys because they're generally pretty spot on with... I seem to kind of vibe with them as far as like what they like, what I like. Although I have to admit their horror stuff from last year, a lot of it I watched and did not get. But Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, gotta go check that out. And by God, will somebody put The Substance on a streaming service or put the dang Blu-ray out? I think it's coming out soon. But I'm really dying to see that movie too, so... That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below. I love chatting with you guys. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video, where I occasionally post. I'm not a super poster over there, but maybe that could be another thing I could work on this year. But anyway, that's it for today. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I know these videos, I tend to ramble sometimes and run on, but I just get kind of excited about physical media and things like that. So anyway, until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. But until next time, take good care of yourselves. Be safe out there. The world's a crazy place and it's about to get a whole lot crazier. So also to the United States, you can F off and leave Canada alone. Bye.